14 children, 3 marriages, names that are impossible to pronounce. Have you heard of people who collect cars? Elon Musk collects children. 14 heirs, 3 marriages, 5 women. Names that sound like codes from an apocalyptic novel. Do you think this is a coincidence? No, it's a system. Let's start with the numbers. 14 is a magical number. In his universe, the same number of moons Jupiter has, the same number of colonies he plans to establish on Mars. But why so many children? The answer hides in the details. The first son, Nevada Alexander, died after 10 weeks. A tragedy for Musk's start. He launches an IVF probe for him, as if replacing a broken part in a rocket. Twins in 2004. Triplets in 2006. Backup children, born in a lab. Are you sure this attempt will cope with the grief? Or the first step towards creating backups of himself? And now the names. Xavier, Griffin, Ty. Sounds like a list of characters from a cyberpunk dystopia, but that's just the beginning. XA12. A child whose name even robots can't decipher. Exodarksider L. A daughter, whose name translates to Dark Star Shadow. Technomechanicus. A son named after an engineering term. These are names, they're a message. To whom? Perhaps to us. Perhaps to those who come after. 3 marriages, each like a stage of an experiment. Justine Wilson. The first test subject, Tallulah Riley, an actress whom he married twice, as if testing her loyalty. Grimes, a singer who bore him children with code-like names. And now Siobhan Zeles, a top executive in Neuralink. She's not just the mother of his children, she's an employee. Part of the mechanism. Think about it. All his women are geniuses in their fields. Writers, actresses, engineers. Coincidence? Or a meticulous selection of donors to enhance the genetic code? Musk doesn't hide it. He believes in the power of DNA. His children must be smarter, stronger, more resilient. They are a project. The names are just labels on test tubes. Do you still believe this is just a big family? And now we move to the wedding. White dress, rings, vows. Then the groom takes the bride by the hand and says, "Here I am, Alpha." This is not a scene from a horror movie. This is reality. Elon Musk and Justine Wilson. The year 2000, the beginning of an era. Justine, a writer. Smart, ambitious, but for Musk, she became an incubator. Their firstborn, Nevada Alexander, died at 10 weeks old. Sudden infant death syndrome. For most, it's a tragedy. For Musk, it's a call to action. He doesn't cry. He calculates the error and initiates IVF. Twins in 2004. Triplets in 2006. 6 children in 4 years. You can hear Justine's psyche cracking at the seams. She later admits, "He turned me into a factory for producing heirs." But the scariest part isn't the number. It's the methods. The children sleep on schedule, eat on a timetable, their minds, a blank slate for his ideas. Why? There's no answer, only rumors. Laboratory tests, genetic testing, attempts to enhance DNA. And what about Musk? He celebrates Halloween with his ex-wife in 2022. He smiles. He jokes. As if nothing happened. Think about it. His first marriage lasted 8 years. Exactly as long as it takes to raise a generation of children for a Martian colony. Justine got $20 million in a house. A cheap price for silence. Do you still believe he just wants a big family? Or is this the first act in a play called The Man of the Future? Imagine a laboratory. Glass incubators, flickering screens with DNA readings. Elon Musk doesn't just lose a child in 2002. He loses control. Nevada Alexander dies after 10 weeks, and this becomes the point of no return. But grief? No! For Musk, death is an engineering problem. He doesn't cry over the cradle, but he studies the pathologist's reports like blueprints of a failed Falcon 1 launch. 2 years later, twins Xavier and Griffin are born. Not replacement children. Born through IVF, like replaced parts in a mechanism. Do you think this is an attempt to replace the loss? Or the first stage of genetic duplication? But for Musk, it's not enough. In 2006, triplets, Kai, Saxon, Danian. 6 children in 4 years. 6 samples. 6 attempts to create the perfect code. No accidents, no natural conceptions. Only control, only calculations. Do you notice a pattern? After the death of his son, an immediate switch to artificial insemination, as if he eliminated the weak link of human biology. The eldest son, Xavier, disrupts the system. At 16, he changes his name to Vivian Jenna Wilson, renounces his father and billions, and disappears from the media space. Why? Experts whisper about genetic experiments, attempts to implant Neuralink chips in children, and adjusting emotions through neural interfaces. But there is no evidence. Only silence, thick like smog over Los Angeles. Musk responds with icy calm. In 2024, he publishes a photo with Vivian, captioned, "My eldest son." No apologies, no explanations. As if the rebellion was a planned stage. As if Vivian's escape, a survival test. Do you still believe this is a family? Or a laboratory where some samples are destroyed and others are sent for refinement? And the triplets? Tai, Saxon, Damien? Their faces are clean, bio-passports. No hobbies, no friends, no traces on social media. They appear in public like extras. Identical suits, synchronized gestures, as if they are cloned. As if Musk raised them from a single template. Do you think this is paranoia? Remember his words. My children will solve the energy crisis. Not help, not assist. Solve, like engineers solve equations? And here's the main question. If these children are part of a project, then where's the line between family and factory? Between a father and a lab director? When Musk hugs them, is he checking their pulse or scanning their DNA for anomalies? Wedding, divorce, wedding, divorce. For years of Tallulah Riley and a Musk carousel, a loveless story. It's a stress test for the human psyche. 2010. A British actress, a rising star in Hollywood, becomes Mrs. Musk. 2 years later, a divorce. 2013. Again, yes. 2016. The final break, but no children, not a single one. What? The answer lies in the details. Tallulah is not Justine. She is not ready to become an incubator. She, an actress, a woman with her own voice, while Musk needs soldiers, not partners. Their first marriage was an attempt to combine control and passion. He gives her a diamond necklace, but forbids her from acting in films with erotic scenes. She plays the role of the perfect wife, but secretly visits a therapist, divorce in. 2012 is her rebellion, but Musk doesn't give up. In 2013, he returns with a ring and a proposal. Let's try again, but on my terms. Tallulah agrees. Why? Rumors speak of contracts with India, about financial guarantees, about pressure. Their second marriage is a spectacle. He posts her photo on Twitter with the words, "My wife." Genius. She smiles on the red carpets, but in interviews, she describes their relationship as complicated, like a Tesla equation. And then the finale. 2016. Tallulah files for divorce. This time for good. Musk does not resist. He has already found a replacement. Siobhan Zealy's, a top manager at Neuralink. A woman who will bear him 4 children without marriage, without public vows, without the right to rebel. Think about it. 2 marriages with 1 woman, 0 children, then 4 with a subordinate. This is not romance. It's the evolution of strategy. Tallulah. Trial version. Siobhan. Release. You see the pattern. First wives are fields for experiments. Subsequent ones are optimized models. But the most eerie part is not even this. After the divorces, Musk and Tallulah remain friends. They celebrate Halloween together in 2022. Laughing, hugging. As if 4 years of psychological games were just practice. As if Tallulah passed the loyalty test, but didn't quite reach the level of the mother of his children. Where are her tears? Where's her anger? She is silent. Like everyone who got close to Musk. Like Justine, who received 20 million for her silence. Like Grimes, who calls him complicated but brilliant. Do you still believe that these women left of their own accord? Or were they made to forget? And now the final touch. In 2024, Tallulah marries a Game of Thrones star. Musk congratulates her on Twitter. No jealousy, no hint of emotion. As if she were used-up material. As if her marriage is part of his script. Unfortunately, not everything in our lives goes according to script. Situations vary, not just family dramas, but also everyday problems. Layoffs, arguments, accidents. You've been in a car accident in America and don't know what to do next. Where to turn for help? Where to find a competent lawyer? How to get compensation if you don't have insurance. The company Accident Actress helped secure $21 million in compensation for its clients. Here, they will definitely answer all your questions. Link in the description. 21st century. We already live in a world where a child's name is not just a label, but a cipher where each letter is a key to a secret code. Exash, A12, or Exash, Archangel 12. This is not a name. It's a puzzle thrown to humanity as a challenge. 2020. Elon Musk and Grimes introduced their son to the world, but this is not a child. It's a manifesto. Let's start with the decryption. X is an unknown variable, a symbol of infinity. A is the fusion of artificial intelligence and love, as Grimes stated. A 12 is the Lockheed Hypersonic Reconnaissance Aircraft, which Musk calls a pinnacle of engineering. But that's the official version, the real. Mystery is deeper. A is the first letter of the alphabet. 12, the number of students in Musk's secret school. Coincidence? Or a hint that the child is the first in a series of 12 prototypes? But that's not all. A month after birth, the name is changed to XAEAVCT. The reason? California laws prohibit numbers in names. Musk doesn't give up. He finds a loophole, replacing the number 12 with Roman numerals. This is not a concession. It's a game. He demonstrates that even laws are not a barrier to his will. Do you think this is a rebellion against the system? Or a test of how far he can go? Now look closely at the details. XA12 was born in the midst of a pandemic. The world stood still, and Musk launches a new product. A child whose name sounds like a password to a Skynet server. A child he takes to a meeting at the White House where he wipes boogers on Trump's table. Do you see innocence here? Or a demonstration of power? Look, as if Musk is saying, my son can do anything. Even your rules are death to him. Grimes later admits, I wanted his name to sound like a cybernetic spell. A spell, a ritual, an initiation. To whom? To a new world where Musk's children are not humans, but interfaces between biology and machine. He himself calls his son X, as if reducing him to a variable in an equation. But the most frightening thing, X, AEA-12 grows up under cameras. His childhood, a series of public appearances, rocket launches, Tesla exhibitions, father's tweets with the hashtag future leader. No toys, no friends. Only robotics training and quantum physics lessons. Do you still believe this is the upbringing of a genius? Or is it formatting a mind to fit the needs of a corporation? And now the question. If the name is a password, what will this password unlock? The Neuralink database? Access to Martian colonies? Or a door to a world where Musk's children become the new gods? Imagine a school without bells, without textbooks, without grades, where children take apart engines instead of having math lessons, where artificial intelligence ethics is the main subject. AD, Astra, Musk's secret academy. The name translates to the stars. But where does this road actually lead? Founded in 2014. Location, a closed campus in California. Students, Musk's children, SpaceX employees' children, and selected geniuses. No classes, no exams. Instead, real-life case studies. How to colonize Mars with a budget of $10 billion. Create an algorithm to manage a swarm of drones. 7-year-olds debate terraforming, 10-year-olds design rockets. Do you see progress here? Or a child's mind overwhelmed by insurmountable tasks? Musk calls it problem-solving education. But look deeper. The school is an exact replica of his companies. Tight deadlines, presentations for investors, competition for the title at most, innovative. The children aren't learning, they're working, they're games. Simulations of business processes, they're relaxation, stress management meditations. Do you still believe this is a school or a training camp for the future? And now the quiet details. At Ad Astra, there are no lessons in music, no literature, no art. It's useless, Musk declares. Instead, there are courses on DNA manipulation and neurointerfaces. 10-year-old children learn to edit the genes of fruit flies. 12-year-olds assemble prototypes of Neuralink chips. Do you think this is education? Or early recruitment into secret projects? But the main thing is control. Every morning, students undergo biometric scanning. Every step is recorded by cameras with AI analytics. For safety, as the teachers say. But mentions of cognitive development protocols and neural connection optimization were found in the school's documents. Sounds like science fiction. Remember, Neuralink is already testing chips on monkeys. What stops them from testing on children? Ask Vivian. She's the only one who escaped the system, but her silence is louder than a scream. In a rare interview, she says there's no childhood there, only a mission. A mission they didn't choose. And here's the final touch. At Astra, graduates don't go to universities. They go straight to SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink. Their resumes aren't grades, but projects approved by Musk. Do you still believe in a bright future? Or do you see a conveyor belt where children are living startups? $20 million. A house in Bel Air. Silence. Justine Wilson, Musk's first wife, got all this in exchange for disappearing from his history. But what lies behind the numbers? Do you think it's fair compensation or the price for her voice to dissolve into silence? Remember her words. He turned me into a child-producing machine. 6 births in 8 years. The death of the firstborn, IVF, twins, triplets, her body a testing ground for his genetic experiments. And her mind, a psyche bursting at the seams, which he ignored like a software glitch. When she tried to talk about depression, Musk replied, "I'll solve it like an engineering problem." But there was no solution. Only orders, only feeding schedules, and chip tracking the children's sleep. 20 million is not a gift. It's a calculation. An amount that seems huge, but is only a fraction of his wealth. A house, a cage with golden bars. After the divorce, Justine disappeared. No interviews, no memoirs, no hint of the truth. Her social media is empty. Her blog, where she wrote about motherhood, is deleted. Coincidence? Or terms of the deal? But there's a nuance. In 2022, they are caught together on Halloween. She smiles. He hugs her. As if nothing happened. As if 20 million bought not silence, but her agreement to play the role of a family friend. Do you believe in this game? Or do you see a performance where Justine is a hostage, obliged to portray loyalty? And now, deeper. Her current life is charity. She helps mothers who have experienced the loss of children. But she has never mentioned Musk, never said a word about what she went through. Even her charitable foundation avoids questions about SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink. Do you still think she is free? Or is her golden heart shackled by contracts with NDAs? And here is the main question. If 20 million is the price for silence, then what does Justine know? About the child doubles? About the laboratories? Or that Musk referred to their marriage as the first phase of a project? February 2025. Siobhan Zeles, director of Neuralink, publishes a post. Selden Lycurgus, a name that sounds like a verdict. An ancient Greek lawmaker who created a set of strict rules for Sparta. Coincidence? Or a hint that this child is the architect of a new order? Siobhan is not a wife, not a lover. She is an employee. A person who helped Musk implant chips into the brains of monkeys and is now giving birth to his 4th child. Their connection did not start with romance. According to rumors, Musk offered her to become a biological partner after she asked for a sperm donor. Cold calculation. No dates, no rings. Only a contract and a mission. Selden Lycurgus is not just an heir. He is a symbol. His name carries a code. Discipline, power, ruthlessness. Musk's older children, Xavier, X, Ash, A12, Exa, are already part of the system. But Selden is a new level. He is born from a woman who knows how Neuralink works, who improves brain-machine interfaces daily. Do you think her DNA was added, something to his genetics? Or is this a child pre-programmed to merge with AI? And now look at the dates. 2 weeks before Selden's birth, writer Ashley St. Clair declares, "I have a son by Musk." The billionaire responds with one word, "Wow." No confirmations, no denials. As if it's not a child, but an option in a contract. As if the 14th, heir. No limit. But why Siobhan? Why not Grimes, not Justine, not Tallulah? The answer is in her resume. A Yale University graduate, a specialist in neurobiology. A woman whose IQ is compared to Einstein's. Musk is not just choosing a mother, he is engineering a gene pool. Selden is the product of a formula. Genius plus genius equals superhuman. And the final touch. In a post about the birth, Siobhan writes, he has a heart of gold. The same words that Justine used to say about the late Nevada. The cycle repeats. But now a heart of gold is not a metaphor, it's a goal. Possibly, literally, a chip made of gold and titanium embedded in the chest. Do you still believe this is just a child, or do you see a prototype? The first of a generation that will breathe on Mars, control rockets with the power of thought, and forget what tears are. Imagine a bunker. Not just a house, a citadel. 3 floors underground, laboratories with bluish light, children's rooms with surveillance cameras, communal kitchens where Musk's mothers prepare meals based on biometrically calculated recipes. Rumors about a family complex in Texas are not a fantasy. It's a logical step for someone who believes that a family should operate like a startup. Minimum freedom, maximum efficiency. Construction began in 2021, right after Musk moved to Texas. Officially, an eco-friendly home for a large family. Unofficially, a fortress. According to insiders, the complex includes underground tunnels leading to secret SpaceX labs, family meeting halls with holograms of Martian colonies, and children's bedrooms with sensors tracking sleep phases and cortisol levels. But the most unsettling part isn't the technology, it's the rules. According to leaks, all of Musk's mothers have signed contracts obligating them to live in the complex for at least 300 days a year. The children attend the Astra School through VR headsets to avoid distractions from the outside world. Their outdoor activities are strictly scheduled and monitored by drones. Do you think this is care? Or is it a quarantine for human specimens? And now, think about it, why would Musk gather all the children and mothers in one place? The answer is hidden in his tweet. Family is a team. A team must be united. But a team for what? For the colonization of Mars? Or to create a closed ecosystem where the children become the first citizens of a new race? Rumors intensify after the statement. Siobhan Zeles. We want children to grow up surrounded by love and science. Science, yes. But where's the love? In the corridors of the complex, there are no children's drawings. No toys. There are only bare walls with screens broadcasting lectures on quantum physics. Even the air here is filtered to stimulate cognitive functions. And the final detail. In 24, Musk files a patent for a co-parenting system. The documents outline a scheme for rotating children between mothers to optimize emotional development. Do you still believe in the family heart? Or do you see a conveyor belt where mothers are project managers and children are the product? She ran away. She didn't just leave, she vanished. Vivian Jenna Wilson, formerly Musk's eldest son Xavier, became a ghost. At 16, she changed her name, renounced her father, and disappeared into a world where Musk is not a surname, but a curse. But her escape is not the end of the story. It's the key to a mystery. Why did she do it? The answers hide in the details. In childhood, she was called Xavier the New Leader, as Musk wrote in tweets. Her photos on social media always in the same suits with a stone-faced expression. Her education was at Astra School, where lessons were replaced with cases on planet colonization. But at 14, something broke. She started asking questions. Why do I have to sleep on a schedule? Who decided that I would be an engineer? The answers were not pleasing. Musk. At 16, rebellion. Name change. Legal renunciation of inheritance. Publication of the post I am not your experiment. Musk reacts with icy calm. He calls her my blood, but he doesn't try to bring her back. Why? Perhaps Vivian, the controlled variable. Maybe her escape is a survival test. But there are nuances. A year before her escape, Vivian secretly visited a psychotherapist. In her diary leak of the 24th year, entries were found. He implanted chips in our dogs. He said it was training. I was afraid that the next one. Chips, neural interfaces, experiments. Do you still think Musk is just a father? After the escape, Vivian disappears. Her social media, dead. Only once in the year 25 was she seen in Berlin at a lecture on transgender rights. She talks about freedom but doesn't mention her father. Her face is Musk without emotion. As if the escape didn't free her but moved her to another cage. And now the main question. Why does Musk allow her to exist? Doesn't pursue her? Doesn't silence her? The answer might lie in his philosophy. Failed samples must be let go. Vivian is a defect. Her DNA is imperfect. Her rebellion is proof. But what if it's a lie? What if her disappearance is part of a plan? What if she's a spy, embedded in the ordinary world to observe? After all, her new last name is Wilson, her mother's maiden name. And Musk loves symbolism. My children will solve the energy crisis. They will colonize Mars. They will change everything. These words Musk threw out on Joe Rogan's podcast, as if declaring war on the present. But behind the loud phrases hides a cold calculation. His children are not heirs. They are tools, living algorithms programmed to carry out a mission. Look at their schedule. Wake up at 5 a.m. Meditation. Breakfast with calorie calculation for optimal brain activity. AB Astra School, where, instead of textbooks, there are Tesla and SpaceX case studies. 10-year-olds discuss terraforming. 12-year-olds design Neuralink chips. Their games are simulations of Martian missions. Their leisure is analyzing failed Falcon 9 launches. Do you think this is the preparation of geniuses? Or the training of soldiers for a war declared only by Musk? But the main thing is their role in the system. The eldest son, X-A12, is already participating in Tesla presentations. His face flashes in Cybertruck ads with the caption, "The future at the wheel." The daughter, Axedox Sidrel, born via surrogate, appears in Neuralink patents as the ideal candidate for interface testing. Even the triplets Kai Saxon and Damien Tan, faceless shadows in photos, are mentioned in documents. SpaceX has backup pilots for the elders. And now the question is, who asked for their consent? Who gave the right to turn childhood into an internship? Musk simply responds, they are part of something greater. But the greater thing is him, his ambitions, his empire, his name, which they are obliged to glorify. And here is the key detail. In 2024, Musk registers the company Musk Dynasty. The goal is to manage the family's assets for interplanetary missions. His children are shareholders. Their shares are frozen until they reach 30 years old. Their votes on the board of directors are a formality. Do you still believe in their freedom? Or do you see puppets whose strings lead to a control panel in a Texas bunker? But the creepiest fact is the silence. Not one of the children has said, "I hate rockets." Not one has shouted, "I want to be an artist." They are silent, like Vivian before the escape. Like the triplets, whose mouths seem sewn shut with invisible threads. Are you ready to accept a world where the Musk surname becomes a title, where his children are not people, but positions in the corporate hierarchy? Colonization of Mars by 2050. Complete replacement of humans with AI by 2070. Immortality through neurochips by 2100. Musk's plan is laid out year by year, like the launch schedule for Falcon 9. But what if this isn't a roadmap for progress, but a timer on a bomb? Remember Huxley's Brave New World. Cast, genetic control, test tube children. Now look at Musk. Eco, school laboratory, chips in the brain. Coincidence? He openly calls himself a fan of dystopia. But is he a fan? Or a director bringing them to reality? Take Neuralink. Chips, implanted in the brain to treat diseases. But in the company's patents, there's a reminder of consciousness uploading and emotion control. The first tests on monkeys ended with their death. The next ones? On whom? On Musk's children? On us. Or SpaceX, a colony on Mars. The dream of humanity. Or a prison for the chosen ones. Mission documents state that the first settlers will work 20 hours a day. Volunteers, or slaves, raised in a Texas bunker. And now the main point. Musk does not hide that his projects are interconnected. Tesla powers SpaceX. Neuralink controls the colonists. Starlink observes the Earth. These are not companies. They are gears in a machine that grinds humanity into dust. But you ask, boundaries? Ethics. Musk laughs. His tweet. Ethics are for the weak. The future belongs to the bold. The bold. Or those willing to become cyborgs for a ticket to Mars. The choice is yours. Wake up tomorrow in a world where Musk is not a surname, but a sentence. Or start asking questions before it's too late.